I stepped out on my husband and destroyed our family. Within 6 months, I'd lost custody of our 3 kids when CPS found substances in our home, and I'm still fighting to get even supervised visits. Hi, I'm Sarah. I was married to Michael for 7 years. We had 3 kids together, Lily, Jackson, and baby Ava, who had just turned 2 when everything collapsed. Michael worked construction, long hours, often out of town for weeks on projects. I stayed home with the kids, which sounds easier than it was. 3 kids under 8, no family nearby, Michael gone more than he was home. I loved my children fiercely, but I was drowning in loneliness and exhaustion. The betrayal started with Derek, our neighbor's brother who was staying with them after his divorce. He'd come over to help fix our fence one afternoon while Michael was gone. The kids were napping, and we got talking. He understood what it felt like to have your life fall apart, to feel like you were failing at everything. One conversation turned into him stopping by regularly when he saw Michael's truck was gone. I knew it was wrong, but Derek made me feel like something more than just a tired mom cleaning up spills and breaking up fights. He'd bring coffee, tell me I looked beautiful even in my stained sweater, listen when I complained about feeling invisible. When he kissed me that first time, I didn't stop him. I told myself I deserved to feel wanted. The entanglement lasted about 2 months before the guilt became unbearable. But by then, Derek had introduced me to his way of coping with pain. Just something to take the edge off, he said. Something to give me energy to get through the long days. Something to make me feel less overwhelmed. He made it sound so harmless, like taking a strong coffee or energy supplement. I was so naive. Or maybe I just wanted to believe it would help. The first time I tried it, I felt like Superwoman. The house got cleaned, the kids got elaborate craft projects, I made dinner from scratch. I felt like the mom I was supposed to be. But that feeling didn't last. It never does. Within weeks, I needed it just to get through normal days. Derek would bring it when he came over, and I found myself anxiously waiting for his visits, not because I wanted to see him, but because I needed what he brought. The betrayal of my marriage became secondary to this new need that was consuming me. Michael found out about the stepping out first. He'd come home a day early from a job and found Derek's jacket in our bedroom. The confrontation was loud, angry, and right in front of the kids. Michael turned to me with a look I'll never forget, then packed a bag and walked out. He said he needed time to think about whether our marriage could survive this. But then everything got worse. Much worse. Derek disappeared after Michael confronted him, which meant my supply was gone. I tried to go without, but the exhaustion and sickness that followed were unbearable. I had 3 kids to take care of. So I found another source, someone Derek had mentioned. That's when I truly lost control. I was trying to hide everything, trying to function, trying to keep the house together while Michael and I were separated. But substance habits don't stay hidden long, especially when you're the only parent in the house. Lily's teacher called CPS after Lily mentioned that Mommy had been sleeping a lot and sometimes forgot to make lunch. She'd been making sandwiches for her brothers herself. She was 8 years old, making sure her siblings ate because I was too far gone to function. The CPS visit was supposed to be routine. Just checking in, they said. But I'd been up for 2 days straight, trying to deep clean the house, make everything perfect. I was paranoid, scattered, obviously not well. They asked if they could look around. I was too messed up to realize I could say no. They found my stash in the bathroom, hidden in a tampon box where I thought the kids would never look. But it didn't matter where I'd hidden it. What mattered was that it was there, in a house with 3 young children. The police were called. My kids were taken that day. I watched a social worker buckle Ava into a car seat while she screamed for me. Jackson was crying so hard he threw up. Lily wouldn't even look at me. Michael got temporary emergency custody. His mother moved in to help him. My kids went from having a mom who was present every day, even if I was failing them, to not seeing me at all. The court ordered that I had to get clean, complete a program, and prove I could be safe before I could even have supervised visits. The first month without them was hell. Not just the physical withdrawal, which was brutal, but the silence. No cartoons in the morning, no bedtime stories, no little hands tugging at my shirt. I'd walk into their rooms and just stand there, looking at toys they'd left mid-play, drawings on their desks, Ava's crib with her favorite stuffed elephant still in the corner. I entered a 90-day inpatient program. Missed Jackson's birthday. Missed Lily's dance recital she'd been practicing for months. Missed Ava's first full sentence, her first day of preschool. Michael sent photos sometimes, but seeing them happy without me was almost worse than not seeing them at all. Within 6 months, I'd lost custody of our 3 kids when CPS found substances in our home. It's been 18 months since CPS removed my children. I've been clean for 14 of those months, but clean doesn't erase what I did. The supervised visit started 6 months ago. 1 hour, once a week, in a sterile room at the Family Services Center. A social worker sits in the corner, taking notes on every interaction. Lily is distant, polite but cold. She's 10 now, old enough to understand that Mommy chose substances over being their mother. Jackson still runs to hug me, but he asks every week when I'm coming home. Ava doesn't remember living with me. She clings to the social worker when I try to hold her. Michael filed for divorce while I was in rehab. I didn't contest it. How could I? He included photos with the filing, evidence of what our house looked like when CPS arrived. Dishes piled up, laundry everywhere, substances in a home with children. But the worst photo was one Lily's teacher had taken of her at school, asleep at her desk because I'd been keeping the kids up with my erratic behavior. The divorce gave him full custody with the possibility of future visitation expansion if I maintained sobriety and stable housing. His lawyer made sure to document everything: the betrayal, the substances, the child endangerment. The judge looked at me like I was something scraped off a shoe. Maybe I was. Derek was arrested 2 months after CPS took the kids. Turns out he was dealing, not just using. He's serving 3 years. He tried to contact me once, a letter saying he was sorry for getting me involved. I burned it. He didn't force anything on me. Every choice was mine. I work at a warehouse now, 3rd shift. It's mindless, exhausting work, but they hired me with a record and I need the stability for the court. My supervisor knows my story, not because I told him, but because it's public record. Everyone at work knows I'm the mom who lost her kids to substances. They're polite but distant, like addiction might be contagious. My apartment is a 1-bedroom 40 minutes from where my kids live with Michael. I've made it as homey as possible for when I eventually get unsupervised visits. If I get them. I bought bunk beds that sit empty. Toys they've outgrown but I can't bear to update. Ava's crib is gone, replaced with a toddler bed she'll probably never sleep in at my place. Michael remarried 3 months ago. Rebecca is everything I should have been. She's a pediatric nurse, stable, never touched anything harder than wine at dinner. My kids were in the wedding. Lily was a bridesmaid. The photos on social media showed them as a perfect family. Rebecca's hand on Ava's shoulder where mine should be. My mother won't speak to me. She says I humiliated the entire family, that she can't look her church friends in the eye. My father calls sometimes, but it's always short, always strained. They see the kids at Michael's house. They're part of that new, better family now. I'm the cautionary tale they'll tell my kids about making good choices. The worst part is the milestone moments I'm missing. Jackson lost his first tooth and the tooth fairy who visited was Rebecca. Lily got her period and Rebecca was the one who helped her through it. Ava calls Rebecca Mama Becca and me Miss Sarah when she remembers my name at all. I go to NA meetings 4 times a week. I have a sponsor, Linda, who lost her kids 20 years ago and never got them back. She tells me to focus on today, on staying clean, on being ready if my kids ever want a relationship. But she also tells me to prepare for the possibility that they won't. That the damage might be too deep. I've been clean long enough now that I can see clearly what I threw away. Not just my marriage, though that loss hurts. But my children's innocence, their sense of security, their trust that mommy would always take care of them. Lily had to be the adult when I couldn't be. Jackson developed anxiety that requires therapy. Ava doesn't have any memories of me as her mother, just this stranger she visits sometimes. The court is considering expanding my visits to 2 hours, possibly unsupervised by next year. My lawyer says it's progress. But I know the truth. Even if I get more time, even if someday I get overnight visits, I'll never really get them back. Not the way it was. Not the way it should have been. I think about the moments that led here. If I hadn't been lonely. If Derek hadn't moved in next door. If I'd been stronger when he offered that first hit. If I'd asked for help instead of trying to hide it. But substance addiction doesn't care about your if-onlys. It takes everything and leaves you with supervised visits and empty bunk beds. Some nights I stand outside Michael's house. Not close enough to violate the restraining order, but close enough to see the kitchen window. I watch them having dinner, Rebecca helping with homework, Michael playing with them like he always did. A family that works because I'm not in it. My kids are safe now. They're loved, stable, thriving in school. Lily made honor roll. Jackson joined Little League. Ava is potty trained and proud of it. All these victories happened without me, because of my choices. My absence is the best thing I ever gave them, and that truth is harder than any withdrawal. I write letters I'll never send, apologies they're too young to understand. I keep their artwork from before in a box, evidence of a time when I was mommy, not a cautionary tale. I stay clean one day at a time, not because I believe I'll get them back, but because it's the only apology I can offer that means anything. The truth is, I didn't just betray my husband. I chose substances over bedtime stories. I chose a high over homework help. I chose Derek over dancing with Lily in the kitchen. I chose escape over showing up for my babies when they needed me most. Some addictions cost you everything. Mine cost me 3 pairs of eyes that once looked at me with perfect trust. Now Lily looks at me with disappointment, Jackson with confusion, and Ava doesn't really look at me at all.